If eating chicken breast built muscle by sheer volume, you'd look like a Greek statue by now. You don't. And that's exactly where this gets interesting. I've had men tell me they eat chicken breast for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and still can't figure out why their arms look the same as last year. The chicken isn't lying to you, it's just not telling you the whole story. Although, between us, if I had to eat that much chicken, I'd also start questioning my life choices. Here's the part nobody explains. It's not about eating more protein. It's not about eating less chicken either. It's about the fact that your muscles after 50 are asking for 4 different things at once, and chicken can only give you one of them. And today, that's exactly what we're fixing. Not by eating more chicken, not by cutting it out either. We're looking at 3 specific foods, each one covering a piece of the puzzle that chicken simply doesn't reach. Together, they close the gap that just eat more protein was never built to close. But before any of that makes sense, you need to know what's actually flipping the switch inside your muscle in the first place. Spoiler, it's not chicken. It's not even protein, really. It's something most people have never heard of, and it's about the size of a single molecule. mTOR plus leucine. Inside every muscle fiber, there's a tiny switch called mTOR. Think of it like the ignition in your car. Turn the key and nothing happens unless fuel's also reaching the engine. Both at the same time or the engine doesn't fire. mTOR works the same way. It's the ignition switch for muscle growth, and it only fires when several conditions show up together. This is exactly why eating more protein alone has let so many people down. You've been turning the key. The engine still isn't catching. One of those conditions comes from one exact molecule in food, leucine. It works like the fuel itself. Pour in too little, and the engine just sputters, no matter how many times you turn the key. After 50, the amount needed to actually catch goes up. Your cells have tightened that threshold on you. And here's the twist. Chicken is genuinely excellent at delivering leucine. A normal serving fills that fuel line easily, even past the higher threshold after 50. So if you've been blaming chicken for not building muscle, that's not actually where the problem sits. The tank's full. The fuel line is fine. The problem isn't that chicken fails at this. The problem is that this is only one of the conditions mTOR needs, and chicken stops right there. Like a contractor who lays one brick and sends you an invoice for the whole house. Because running an engine well doesn't just take fuel. You need the oil running clean, the spark firing, and the timing right too. That's exactly where these next 3 foods come in. Food 1. Eggs. Stick with the car for a second, because this next part actually makes more sense with it. Eggs aren't extra fuel. Eggs are oil. Oil doesn't make your engine run faster on its own. It doesn't add horsepower. But it does is make sure the fuel you already have gets used properly instead of grinding against itself. Run an engine low on oil, and it doesn't matter how full the tank is. Things start wearing down instead of working. And whole eggs have spent the last few decades getting treated like the engine's enemy, mostly because of the yolk. People crack 3 eggs, toss 2 yolks in the trash like they personally wronged them, and eat the whites feeling very responsible about it. Here's what's actually in that yolk: choline, vitamin D, and a specific set of fats. The exact components your body uses to make sure the protein you're eating gets absorbed and put to work properly. Throw the yolk away, and you're not avoiding a problem. You're throwing away the oil. I get asked about cholesterol almost every time eggs come up, usually by someone holding a yolk at arm's length like it personally insulted their cardiologist. Quick version: your liver makes most of your cholesterol on its own. Eating a couple of whole eggs a day isn't the villain it was made out to be in the 1980s. Your liver's been doing this job longer than you've been worrying about it. So that's the oil sorted. Fuel's full, oil's good. Engine should run fine now, right? Not quite. There's still the matter of the spark, and that's where things get interesting with fish. Food 2. Fat fish. The spark is what actually ignites the fuel. You can have a full tank and clean oil, and if the spark's weak, the engine still just turns over. No ignition, no power. For your muscles, that spark comes from omega-3s, specifically the ones in fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, or sardines, not chicken. Chicken simply doesn't carry this particular ingredient in any meaningful amount. Most people only know salmon as the heart health one, or the brain food one. Nobody ever mentions it's quietly doing a third job, and that third job happens to be the one you actually need right now. Here's the mechanism. Omega-3s seem to help your muscle respond better to the protein you're already eating. Not more protein, just better use of what's already there. The science on this is still developing, and it seems to matter most when your overall protein intake isn't quite where it should be. It's not a magic fix, but it's a real lever, and it's one chicken simply doesn't have. There's a second thing omega-3s do that I probably should have led with. They help dial down low-grade background inflammation. That's the stiffness you wake up with after something as basic as yard work. I say this with the full awareness that I myself once threw out my back reaching for a TV remote. Turns out a degree doesn't come with a warranty on your lower back. Fuel's full, oil's good, sparks firing. You'd think that's the whole engine sorted, except there's one more part nobody thinks about until it fails: timing. And that's exactly the job of the last food on this list. Food 3, Greek yogurt. Timing belt. The part nobody thinks about until the engine just stops at the wrong moment. It's not about power, it's about making sure things happen when they're supposed to. Here's where most people's evenings go wrong. Dinner happens, then nothing for 8, 9, sometimes 10 hours overnight. Somewhere around 2 or 3 a.m., your body runs out of building material, and without it, it starts pulling resources from the muscle you already have, just to keep things running. You wouldn't leave your car running all night with an empty tank and expect it to be fine in the morning. Same logic applies here, except this happens basically every night, on autopilot, without you noticing a thing. Greek yogurt before bed works because it digests slowly. Instead of a quick burst that's gone in an hour, it releases steadily over several hours, covering exactly the stretch where your body would otherwise be running on empty. One thing worth knowing. This only works if the portion's actually big enough. A standard cup gives you maybe 15 to 20 grams. That's not a dose. That's a greeting card. If you want this to actually work, you're looking at a cup and a half.